Hello, hello, hello. Are we actually live? Joseph, are you here? Are you here? Hey, there we go. I am live. I am live. It's good. And Joseph's here. Sweet. So Joseph is the lucky winner of this Aether Revolt kit. Um, so been waiting for a while to give this out. Since this was part of the July 9th birthday giveaway, and it didn't get claimed until now. It's only been 2 months. Nobody wanted this Aether Revolt kit. But Joseph did. So alright, Joseph. Let's do this. Do you prefer Joseph or do you prefer like Joe? Or like, what do you prefer? You tell me. Now, I'm going to ship you everything out of here. Do you want the box? Because the box will make it a little bit more difficult for me to ship it to you, but I will do it. But if you don't want the box, all I have to ship you is the cards and the die. There you go. I'll give you the divider too, because it's actually pretty nice. Joe is fine. July 7th was your birthday? Well, listen. Well, it worked out then. It's a little late. Happy belated birthday. We got there. Alright. You get a sweet sticker. And a little divider. And there's your promo card. Do you want to see the promo first? You don't need the box? Alright. Sweet. Boom. Ooh, inspiring statuary. This is the coolest kit you've ever seen? They're pretty neat, actually, the way the box opens. Like, you push down, right? You push down on here, which unlocks it, and then you pull it. And then actually in here, this is like a little treasure chest. Right? They actually, like, colored it, which is nice. Like, the War of the Spark ones and all that, they didn't color it, right? They just plain black. But this one, they tried to make it look like a little, like, treasure chest, which is kind of cool. Alright, inspiring statuary. Now, what do you want first? Kaladesh or Aether Revolt? She got 2 and 6. Or 2 and 4, I should say. 6 total, 2 and 4. What do you prefer? I prefer to leave Kaladesh to the end, personally. But if you want to do it first, let's do it first. And the reason I like Kaladesh first, or last, is because the masterpieces in Kaladesh are much more exciting. They're much more exciting. There are some good ones in Aether Revolt too, don't get me wrong. Well, I mean, actually they don't exist, right? They don't exist in Aether Revolt. You're gonna get all of these, so don't worry. You're getting all these commons. Ooh, Renegade Freighter. This is the card I was talking about last night when I was doing my patron grab bag, because one of the patrons got a bundle of Core 2020 and pulled the Submersible Submarine, and I was like, there's a common vehicle from Kaladesh that is just better than the rare vehicle from 2020. And it's this one. Because it's, whenever it attacks, it gets +1/+1 and gains trample until end of turn. So it becomes a 5/4 with trample. For 3 mana, crew 2. And that's just better than a 2/3 that if it hits a player, it draws you a card. You got yourself a Mana Vault from Planeswalker deck? Nice. That seems pretty sweet. You're talking like a Mana Vault masterpiece from one of the Planeswalker decks from Kaladesh. First uncommon. Contraband Kingpin. Era of Innovation, Gearshift Ace, and a Bowmat Courier. Got a foil, not a invention, unfortunately. What is happening here? Why is the... I need to be this way? The camera's like a little off-center. Did you see that? It was like lopsided. I'm like lining this up on the playmat, and it was all kind of like on an angle. It needs to be a little bit more. There, how's that? Better? That looks a little better, eh? Kind of more of a straight line across the top there now. Yeah, that looks better. All right, so you did get a foil, though. Foil Die Young. I'm assuming you don't necessarily care about the tokens and the basic lands. Let me know if that's different, Joe. But if you don't need them, I won't ship them to you. Extra weight means for extra cost, so... I don't think there's any commons. Are there any commons from Kaladesh that we have to be, like, keep an eye out for? I feel like there isn't. Long-finned Sky Whale. Whales are always my favorite, right? Chief of the Foundry. Elegant Edge Crafters. And, hey, a Verdurous Gearhulk. That's a pretty sweet hit, actually. Oh, you got the foil Planeswalkers from Battle Bond. Nice. You sold them to pay for the Commander Anthology, too. That's pretty sweet. That's a nice mythic for you. For sure. Yeah, very nice hit. Verdurous Gearhulk, very good. Solid hit there. I hope you are okay with this. I'm just going to mix the commons and uncommons together from both these sets. I hope that's okay with you. Ooh, an Ornithopter. Efficient Construction. Airdrop Aeronauts. And Greenwheel Liberator. Greenwheel Liberator. We'll keep the rare separate. You need a Fatal Push. Alright, alright. Let's see if we can get there for you. Weldfast Engineer. Gremlin Infestation. Reverse Engineer. And another Mythic. Double Mythic pack. Now, that being said, Indomitable Creativity is not the best Mythic. But it's still a cool card. This is definitely Commander playable, right? Triple red and X and destroy X artifacts or creatures for each permanent destroyed this way. Its controller reveals a card from the top of their library until an artifact or creature card is revealed and then exiles that card. Those players put the exiled cards onto the battlefield. Right? Definitely not like a, it's definitely something you could play in Commander as like a last-ditch effort of like blowing up some things that are not great. Hey, you got a foil forest. That's actually gorgeous, by the way. Holy moly. That is absolutely phenomenal looking. There's your swamp and your energy token. Skyship Plunderer. Aeronaut Admiral. Hungry Flames. No Fatal Push yet. Rishkar's Expertise. That's actually a pretty good hit, too. Isn't that worth a couple bucks? I think it is. I agree with you, Joseph. If they had done full art lands for Kaladesh, they would have looked amazing. Rishkar's Expertise is a pretty nice hit, actually. And a foil, another foil, Gonti's Machinations. It's one of my favorite arts right there, that one. All right, last pack. Last pack. Daredevil Dragster. Hidden Stockpile. It's a good card. No Fatal Push. Sorry, Joe. But at Dark Intimations, I mean, you got a double mythic hit here, which is pretty nice. And I mean, Rishkar's Expertise is a pretty good hit. Verdurous Gearhulk is definitely a good hit. And Inspiring Statuary is actually a very playable card. This card is very good. Mainly because non-artifact spells you have that you cast have Improvise, which means you can tap artifacts to cast them, which is pretty sweet. Listen, they should be just doing full art lands with every set, really. Because, I mean, I get it. Maybe the core set they shouldn't, because they want to put the symbol on the bottom so that people who are new to the game understand that that's the color it makes, right? Which makes sense, absolutely, I get it, right? But I mean, like, every set that's not a core set could definitely have full art lands in it. It would cost them literal nothing to change it, right? Like... Like, making all of the lands full art from now on doesn't really change much, to be honest. Anyway, pretty good actually, Joe. Not too bad. I would have been happy with this kit, especially at release time. Um, I mean, you got 3 foils, which is pretty good, plus your promo foils. So you got 4 foils in total out of the kit. You ended up with 2 mythics. Dark Intimations is not amazing in like a sealed pool for sure, unless you get Bolus. But like, yeah, you know, that's how it goes. Sure, but like this is the thing, Z Troll, is that regardless of what you do, there's always going to be an uproar. Doesn't matter, right? I mean, look at the whatchamacallit. Look at the Throne of Eldraine thing with the collectors packs. Okay, collectors are happy. Other people aren't, right? Necessarily happy with them. Yeah, they're interesting. I talked to my LGS, right? Because I generally try to buy, like I buy a whole case of each set as it comes out. And because this new set's coming out and it has the other, yeah, but remember, Wizards of the Coast doesn't care about the secondary market. Their words, not mine, right? Whether those words are true or not is a different question, but that is what they say, right? Anyway, the thing with the collector's edition thing, right, is like I normally buy a case of each set, right? So my LGS called me and was like, hey, what do you want to pre-order? Because like, you've got, we've got the boxes, and then we've got the bundles, and then we've got the collector's edition packs. And I went, okay, well, what are the collection edition packs going for? No secondary market means no primary market. Absolutely. I completely agree with you. I completely agree with you. Right? If you don't have a secondary market, your game dies. Look at all the other card games out there that don't have a secondary market or didn't have a secondary market, and they just crashed and burned. It's happened a lot. The only one that's lived is Hearthstone, really, right? With no secondary market. And that's because it's not really a card game, per se. You know what I mean? It is a card game, but it's not a collectible card game, because you can only run 2 copies of every card in your deck, and it's very easy to just break cards down that you have more than 2 copies of and then make the cards you need, right? Like, if physical-wise, I mean, look at, like, the Star Wars game, the dice game, right? It didn't really have a secondary market, and, yeah, okay, there might have been some other mismanagement of that game, but, like, it also just crashed and burned, right? Like, do you see anyone playing it anymore? I don't. I don't see anybody playing it anymore. Which is unfortunate, because I heard it was a really good game. I actually saw people playing it at MomoCon, not last year, not this year, but the previous year, and it looked like a lot of fun. It looked like they were having a good time playing it, and then it just kind of like disappeared, right? But anyway, the Throne of Eldraine thing is like, so my LGS called me and asked me if I wanted to, pre-order a case of each thing, because I normally do a case of boxes and a case of bundles, and then I normally do, like that's about it, right? But because they've got the collector packs as well, the guy was like, do you want a case of that as well? And I went, I don't know, like, what's in a case? And he's like, okay, the case has 24 boxes in it. And I went, 24? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, but each box only has 12 packs in it. And I went, okay. All right, so it's 12 packs, yeah. And it's 24 in a case. Okay. How much is a box? A single box is going for like $300 with only 12 packs in it. And I was like, what? It's like $300 for only 12 packs. That's crazy. Like that's an absolutely absurd amount of money for very little product. And so then I went back in and I was like, you know what? I won't order a case of that. I can't do it. I'll probably take a box or 2, right? Just for the channel, to open up for the channel. Because it would be interesting to see, right? And he was like, okay. I went back in the other day to talk to them and ask about it. And I said, like, what are you guys doing about this, the collector's edition stuff? And the guy was like, I can't take pre-orders. Why? Because the distributors are not guaranteeing allocations of them. So this is what I've heard. They're not guaranteeing the allocations to LGSs for those. And I went, that sounds bad. And he's like, yeah, and I've already had someone say that they want to buy all 24 of their allocations. And I went, what? Someone wants to buy all 24? Yeah. Okay. All right. Yes, we're talking about the ELD collector boxes. So I said, okay, well, listen, I buy a lot of product from you, right? If you can't get me a couple of boxes, like if this guy buys all of your boxes, then I'm going to have to go somewhere else for them, right? And you're not going to like that, and I'm not going to like that, but hey, what can I do, right? Like, if you're not going to have any for me to buy, right? I was like, I think as an LGS, I would never sell my entire allocation to one person, ever. Yeah, I'm going to be lucky to even find one box. I agree. It's going to be rough. It's going to be absolutely rough. Um, and like it's just so insane. It's such an insane idea, right? And like they did it and they hyped it up a whole bunch and people were super excited about it. And then I read the details and I went, this sucks. This sucks for collectors. Like they're calling it a collector's pack, collector box, but it absolutely is atrocious for collectors. Absolutely atrocious because the cards, yeah, okay, they're special and they're unique and there's only so many of them been printed. So yes, it's a collector's dream. But because they're being released in their own individual boxes, in their own individual packs, you can only get them from there, which means that if you don't get your hands on those packs, you'll never get those cards, which means the secondary market for those cards will be insane because people won't want to sell the packs or the boxes because they know they're worth money. But are they really worth money if people can't collect them? Right? Like it's crazy. That's rough, Doggy Plays. It's going to be ridiculous. Like, I mean, and this is my problem, is that they say they don't care about the secondary market, and then they do things like release the Mythic Edition on eBay and have it absolutely just completely shit the bed, right? And, pardon my language, I guess. Um, but yeah, just absolutely a disaster. And they don't learn from it. They go, oh, well, we'll just do another thing similar, except that this time we'll do it where it's released to the LGSs, but instead of releasing it to the LGSs as a regular allocation like everything else, it's limited, and so then the LGS might not get a full allocation, or maybe they only get a few, right? And now the customers can't get them, right? And so the only people that are going to get them are the people who can be there first thing on the day of release to pick them up, right? I absolutely, Joseph. Like if they just put them as lottery cards in the packs, they would sell so many more regular packs. It's insane, right? They only printed 10,000 boxes. That's 10,000 boxes. Okay, so if it comes in an allocation of 24 boxes in a case, okay, that means that each LGS will get like maybe a case if they're lucky, right? Because 10,000, like think of it this way, the last Mythic Edition was 12,000 copies, and they ran out of those in a matter of minutes, even with the ridiculous nonsense that happened on eBay the last time, right? So like I've never understood this nonsense of creating essentially like this ultra rare collectible nonsense and not make it randomly available. Do you know what I mean? Like instead of making it randomly available, you make it available only in a specific scenario. And so only if you are like, chomping at the bit, gung ho, ready to go get it the day it releases, you'll never get it. It's such a weird way of doing it. Like, especially if you know that it's going to sell and you're hyping up the product, you're hyping it like crazy, and then you just don't release enough product for the demand. Well, and that's the other thing too, right, Damon? Is like those collector packs have the possibility to have the full art walkers from the Mythic Editions in them. So all those people who bought those Mythic Editions previously are now getting burned by these collector packs, which is why the price of these boxes is going up so insane, because the prices of those Mythic Editions went up super crazy because it's the only place you could get those cards. It's absolutely insane. That sounds like a good plan, Doggy Plays. Pick up an Oko Planeswalker deck to build him an Oathbreaker, and then just pick up draft boosters. Yeah. So, I mean, like, I'm in the same boat, right? Like, the only reason I'm going to try to get my hands on some of the collector's packs is because it'd be interesting to open for the channel, right? That's it. It'd be something exciting and different to open for the channel, right? That's the only reason I'm going to try to get it. If it wasn't for the channel, I probably wouldn't buy them. Right? So, anyway. There you go, Joseph. They really should have seeded the full art Planeswalkers in regular sets. Helps the boxes maintain value towards the future. Yeah, that too. See, like, this is the thing. Is like there's so many different things they could have done to continually sell older product and make it have some sort of demand. Like, and a lot of people out there didn't like the way they did lottery cards. There's a lot of people out there that didn't like that because it drove down the price of everything in the set except those chase cards, right? And they're not wrong, right? But at the same time, do you want... Like, collectors were mad about that because, you know, now they can't sell their Verdurous Gearhulk for, you know, the $20 it released for because there's so many of these out in the wild now because so many people opened Kaladesh packs, right? There's like, who knows how many of these out in the wild, right? Now, the Masterpiece copy of Verdurous Gearhulk, sure, it sells for a decent amount because there's only, you know, like X number of them out in the wild, right? Because only like maybe, let's say, 100,000, you know, like let's say 1,000 of them have been opened across the world or whatever, right? So, who knows? You're not against collector all foil product, yeah. Exactly, but I mean, like, this is the thing, right? Is like, I think that if they had done this collector's pack differently, like if they had not done a limited print run, or if they had not done, you know, or if they had made it more readily available, like that kind of thing, and maybe not printed things that had already really just been printed, right? That's the other issue that I have with it, is that, you know, like these Mythic Editions that had these chase walkers in them, it took forever to try and get a hold of them if you could, right? If you were lucky, you got them. If you weren't lucky, you didn't get them, right? And a lot of people got burned. And now they're saying, oh, we're fixing that by releasing them. Well, then the people who got burned buying those Mythic Editions on the secondary market, once the price was inflated like crazy, are now getting burned again because they got burned by not being able to get it for the price that was originally released for. And then they paid more. And then now the cards are going to go down in value because they're being reprinted. Oof, man, just crazy. Really crazy. So, I mean, like, somewhat handsome, like, the thing with from the vaults, they were really cool, I agree. The last two that they released didn't sell very well, which is why they got discontinued. But the reason they didn't sell very well is because the cards they put in them were not amazing. Like, there wasn't anything super crazy in them, right? Like, if you look back at some of the older ones, there's some crazy power in those sets, in those from the vaults. The latest ones... what was it? Transform and Lore. They had like a couple cards that were worth a couple bucks, but not nearly enough to recoup the cost, right? And so LGSs were selling them for like, you know, $60 Canadian or more, right? And no one was buying them for that price because there wasn't enough value in it to make it worth buying those cards unless you really wanted to play with them, right? Anyway. So, basically, I think that's it for today. So, congratulations, Joseph. I've been rambling for a while here. But Joseph, there you go. Thank you so much for entering. Good luck to everyone in the next giveaway, whenever that happens. I don't know when it'll be, but there will be more, of course, always. There will always be more. I don't know when it is yet. I haven't planned it out. It will get planned out at some point. I don't know what it'll be for. It'll probably be for something. But anyway, stay tuned for that. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I have been your host, MrBevers, and as always, may your pulls ever be better.